How y'all doing, man? It's the I Don't Know This Perfect podcast. Let me rephrase that. I don't know. That's perfect. Mario, bring it in. I'm Mario from the South Side. Y'all also know me as Modine. I got my guest here.
Rich and Mack.
Yes, sir. Rich the Mack. And we finna get right into it, man. Really, I kind of just want to know what's your background, how you came up, where you came up from, where you started, man. Like, fuck the rap shit right now, you know what I mean? Like, fuck all that shit. Like, what?
Story?
Yeah, for real. Like, where'd you come from? How'd you grow up, man?
Man, so growing up for me wasn't really easy. My family, we never had it like that. So growing up, I don't want to say we was pinching pennies, but, we're doing whatever to get by. And, we actually come from Utah. I was born in Utah. I lived there for 2 months, but then we moved down.
So that's the origin is Utah,
yeah,
right?
Utah,
that's all right. My origin story is Utah. Yeah, I came from right here.
When I tell people that, I get the Mormon jokes and everything, but honestly, I lived in Utah for like 2 days. It felt like, So I moved down here. I feel like I'm mainly, Texas.
No, yeah, for sure. So I feel like with that shit, my daughter was born in New Mexico. She came down when she was young, so she feels like she's from Texas, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you from New Mexico?" You know what I mean? But so you from Utah, and then you came down to Texas. Where's the first spot you came into Texas?
I believe we came down to, I want to say Pflugerville.
Okay.
We came down. I used to live in these apartments. I think they're closed down now. Rosemont Apartments, or somewhere in that area. They got shut down for I guess it was like criminal activity or something.
Keep it a bug with you. Every Rosemont in Austin, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? So Pflugerville, I don't know what year would you say you came down?
2005.
Okay.
That was really before it got like super gentrified, like how it is right
and
now.
You're 2001, right?
Yeah.
You were born in 2001. So 2005 you came down. Man, I was already 10. So that's when Austin started really started to change and kind of just pick up and they on the bullshit.
Yeah.
So I understand the Rosemont Apartments getting shut down. So where you went to Rosemont?
Yeah, and we was going from place to place because my parents, they kind of struggle with money, and whatever reason, I never really got to know, but we was just doing whatever to get by, and then we moved to Austin, then we moved down back to Hutto, and then we kind of chilling in that area for the last 11, 12 years. So
y'all in Hutto right now?
Yeah, we were really in Hutto before it got super developed like how it is now.
Bro, I remember back. You talking about 2005, you moved down, so you figure about 2007, 8, you moved to Hutto?
Yeah, something like that.
By that time, I'm already 13, so so Hutto was that's out there, but it ain't that far, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Like 30 minutes.
Yeah, so it ain't that far, but you still in the suburbs of Austin.
Yeah.
So how did you what's your upbringing, bro? What did you do in school? You play sports? What's going on?
Yeah, I did a lot of sports. I was a really athletic kid.
Yeah.
So, I feel like by genetics, my dad played a lot of sports.
What did your dad play?
He played baseball, football. He did everything on the bucket list, basically, that you could think of. So, me personally, I was always, that athletic kid, too. So, I played football, tennis, soccer, swimming. I did powerlifting, track, field. I kind of did everything.
Try it all. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So, I understand that when you so young and you don't realize where you really at, you know what I mean?
You're trying to find where you fit in.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out. Hey man, can I get in here? Can I get in there? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you went to Hutto. You went to Hutto Middle School?
Yeah.
And in high school?
Yeah, and I want to say the high school now is way different than it was when I was back there, because now it's massive. They redid the football stadium. They did the whole school.
That's I don't really know about Hutto too much, but I could say for Del Valley.
Yeah, Del Valley.
When I was a kid and in high school and shit, they didn't have nothing. But now they got a big ass stadium. They got all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how Hutto is, right? Yeah,
Hutto now is unrecognizable to me.
Yeah.
When I go, I've been here for a while, but when I go over there sometimes, I'm still kind of starstruck by what they added. They add so much stuff. It's I don't even recognize where I grew up anymore.
Exactly. And I could say that same thing for Austin. You know what I mean? For sure. Because I born and raised in Austin. So I could say the same thing. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, the traffic too. I think that's the biggest, downfall of growing so much.
Hey, bro, from Hutto to Austin, how long that take you?
I ain't gonna lie. When I was coming here, that was 50 minutes.
Just without traffic. What time you start coming here?
I think it was like 7.
Without traffic, that's 50 minutes, bro. Yeah, you got to think
traffic.
I was talking to homegirl earlier. We was like in the Domain. And I was like, man, shit. I got a podcast later on. She's like, where's it at? I was like, downtown. She was like, I got to drive 50 minutes back to Stas.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. And I was like, that shit just sounds crazy. But when you get into it, you're like, it really ain't nothing.
City's really alive now. It kind of feels like LA a little bit.
That's one of the points that I was getting to, too. Like, Austin is kind of on the verge of just busting.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, everybody in Austin kind of got something going on. And if you don't, you're really not a local, or you're just somebody that kind of grew up local and just kind of made your way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even the people that just, came down here, for school and stuff, they kind of got something going on.
Exactly.
Even outside
they
of school.
even might have made something like, hey, I think Austin got the music scene or whatever. Because honestly, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
There's a lot of potential. And
I can include you in that because Killeen right now is not Killeen. Hutto right now is an extension of Austin. Honestly, like the way I think about it, really, is like Houston. Yeah. Put it that way.
With the different like Sugarland and all that.
Exactly. Like Sugarland's a part. Like when you think about Sugarland or Mo City or what's the other one?
I'm trying to think.
Fucking
the Woodlands.
So yeah, Killeen. Tell me how it was growing up in Killeen.
Oh wait, no, not
Killeen. I'm sorry. Hutto.
Yeah. So Hutto. I say when I was first there, honestly, it was really peaceful. I think that's why my family moved over there. We had a lot of chaotic shit going on in our life, and I guess my family was just looking for some solace, from the world, because the world is so scary sometimes. Hutto is one of the safest places you could really go to. But I say over the years, as I started growing up, it started getting a little bit, like stuff started popping up. Not that long ago, there was a group of ROTC kids with like guns or something inside of the high school.
I remember that.
Yeah, that literally just happened. That it blows my mind because I never thought I'd see the day. But I started seeing the violence. It feels like it bled on from somewhere else, because if you've been in the city long enough, you kind of know what type of people are there. And, you start to notice like a lot of violent people coming in. It just, with the growing city, I guess it's just prone to happen.
And Hutto's not a military city, right?
Nah.
Right? But it's close enough to be?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, man, what got you into making music?
Me personally, I always, dabbled into a lot of different things in my life. Before I did music, I did football. I had a YouTube channel too, where I would like restore shoes and all that. And one thing led to another. Music just always stuck out to me. It's like a hidden talent, really. You just.
I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, you good.
What really stuck out to you for music?
Stuck out to me
to even just get you into the point to say like, hey, man, I'm gonna make music. You know what I mean? Like, what really stuck out to you and, like, really said, hey, bro, I like this music. I like these lyrics. I like this beat. Like, what really stuck out to you?
I think what stuck out to me is, like, I want to say, like, I have, like, an ear. I feel like I really, have what it took to really put my foot into the music industry. And, seeing the come-up stories for other artists, kind of put that sense of relatability into me. Like, I can really do this. That stuck out the most to me. It's like the fact if they can do it, I can really do it too.
What really related to you?
It's just the come up.
What like, not even like the basis of it. Like what in music really related to you to say, hey, I can do this?
The lyrics, me personally, I've always been like a literature type of person. Lyrics always stood out to me. I feel like if I can put my soul into the ink, write something nice, stand out to me the same way it did for someone else. That's really, for sure, my thing. And more than that, just overall music is just, what's the word? It's like the escape way for a lot of people. That's really.
Honestly, I understand that because that's the same shit for me. But what really got you into it to say, I can do this? Like, what was the main thing in your life that said, I can make music, or even like, let me do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what triggers you to do that?
What triggers me? Shit, it really just comes naturally. One day I just discovered, I really like music a lot. And it just...
So your parents aren't in tune with music? Like, your mother or dad is not even like...
My dad used to play me a lot of music back in the day, and it it really didn't resonate with me then, but like as I grew up, I started to realize, you know, a lot of the music they listen to, you know what I mean? It like makes sense now why they listen to it. And it makes sense why the music I make, you know what I mean, it sounds like how it does.
Cause your album, we can get into that in a second, but like I told you before we even got on camera, bro, I played that bitch, and most albums when I play them, the first song I'd be like,
yeah.
With that first one, I was like, hey, this beat hard. Like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker got some. And then the next one came, and I was like, fuck, I could just keep playing.
Oh, yeah.
Then the R&B shit came.
Yeah.
So what is, like, your inspiration behind everything? Not even just the main first song, the main second song, the main third. Like, what is really your inspiration behind everything? Like, what do you follow? What do you grasp? And what are you listening to?
So music wise, I listen to a lot of Drake, but I also try to spice it up, you know, like trap artists, you know, that kind of levitates me towards that. But really, like, just life, you know, life inspires a lot of what I do, you know, observing the world, you know what I mean, that kind of forces me to take a stance on my music, you know, have a certain approach. Like you said, the rap stuff, the R&B stuff, that's just kind of, you know, how I feel about life, you know. You have your upbeat moments and you have like your slowed down moments, you know, like we cruising through the city, you just feeling emotions and all that. That's kind of how I see it. It's like a grasp on life almost. That's how it feels like.
So, like, what is your main inspirations behind music? I know you said a lot of Drake and you listen to a lot of Drake, but, like, I know that ain't the main inspiration. I hear it, but, like, you know what I'm saying? I hear it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, when I listen to it, I'm like, this really ain't like nothing else.
Yeah.
You got your own kind of style. You got your own kind of groove. You know what I mean? Like, you could flow. You could. It kind of reminds me of a sort of a Jack Harlow, but not even that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people when they compare that, they're like, you know what I mean? But like, Jack Harlow could really flow.
He could, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, when you take away the bias, like that shit is really there. So that shit really reminds me of that, because a lot of people's albums that I put on, I'm like, I can't do that. But when I put your shit on, I was like, hey, I could really run this bitch top to bottom. Even with the R&B, like all that shit. So like, how did you even get into the groove to even making such different music?
To me, standing out really, you know, has always been the biggest thing to me. And it's not even to be like, you know, like, oh, I'm different.
No, yeah, for sure.
You know, it's really just to show people there's another, you know, side of there's not like another point of view in music, you know, because Austin has a lot of its own rappers, you know.
Yes, sir.
I feel like when I think of Austin, I really hear that boom, like that Quinn type sound, you know. And there's nothing wrong with Quinn. Quinn
really
stuff
trap.
is hard. Yeah, trap. I feel like, you know, giving variety to it can open up a whole new lane for other artists that, you know, don't really feel comfortable with trying it right now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there always has to be that one person that pushes, you know, the agenda and everyone else starts to get on it. That's really how I feel about it.
Okay. So on an R&B tip, what really took you to that wave? Because that is a different whole, like, from the first 3 songs to the 4th. When I heard that 4th, I forgot what it's called, bro. But when I heard that shit, I was like, that's my shit. Because I listened to a lot of Rilo.
Oh, Rilo Rodriguez?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? Nice. So when I heard that, I was like, kind of relates to that real R&B trap shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what brought you to that tip? Because that is really a different move that really nobody else makes.
Yeah, to me, I really just wanted diversity, you know. Like, I really wish there was a deeper meaning into it, you know. But sometimes, you know,
it don't even have to be, bro. Yeah, like, that's why I'm asking, because at the end of the day, like, whatever you do, dog, like, that's you, and that's what makes you you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even if you have that same vibe, that same tip, even if it's a whole different way you got it, like, that's what makes you you. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit, yeah.
And I fuck with that a lot.
For
real. Like, I fuck with that album a lot, bro.
That's
like,
my goal.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing I want to ask you, is this your first project?
Yep. My first ever set of music also, officially.
Ever?
Yep.
You've never made music before this?
Nope. That's my first.
So where were you recording at?
I was recording at 3 Hound Sound, Sam Hines and San Marcos. A little studio I say the engineer there, out of all the studios I really been at, observed, sometimes people would take me to the recording sessions and all that. I say Sam Hines is the most level-headed, creative engineer. He can do everything at the tip of his fingers. This man is the smartest engineer I've ever met.
Why do you say level-headed like that? Because I can name a lot of engineers that are level-headed.
He really he'll give you the advice a lot of engineers won't, because some of them will just let you record, and then
go
give you
mix your shit.
Yeah, type shit. They'll just mix it. It'll be like, track outs, whatever, like come back the next day, finish it, whatever. Sam will like literally sit there and digest it with you. And a lot of engineers that work that fast do not do that. They just let everything slide. So with Sam, there was definitely a lot of moments where he's like, I feel like you can do something better. I feel like you can reword this and that. Even syllables, like this man counts the syllables in his head. He sees how things fit in the lines. And like I said, a lot of engineers, they kind of just, let you hit record and then mix it, master it, and let you out. Sam is just like a whole different ballgame.
So basically, he kind of showed you what to do. You know what I mean? Like he kind of told you, hey, bro, with this bar right here, let's say this, or let's rephrase that and put it in a different way, right?
Yeah. It's really rare to find that too, because like I said, a lot of people will really just take your money, record, and then send your tracks out, and then you post them, whatever.
Yeah, it's really rare to find somebody like that, or an engineer or a producer or whatever you want to call it like that, because they won't tell you, I think you should do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some of them are too scared to say it, but
not even scared. They're just like, I want your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For real. Because and honestly, we're in Austin.
Yeah. It's just, the business.
So if you're not linked in with the right people, it's kind of like, hey, I just kind of want your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, keep it a buck. You know what I mean? Like, keep it 100, man. It's just straight business.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you found somebody that will tailor to you.
Yeah.
And say, hey, man, this is what you should do. This is what you should say. Or, hey, you should rephrase this, because your sound kind of perfect, bro.
I kind of wanted to give another point to that. My boy Marcus, I'm not even going to leave him out. That man was there from the start when I really started, thinking of music and everything. He really helped me get my sound, because this man, when I was really coming up, starting to write, this man started making beats. He started producing, and then he started getting into songwriting with me, because I kind of just threw him in the booth with me. I was like, start writing shit, start getting shit down. He really also helped me with the whole creation of it, because this man is really, musically, he has a whole different side of the spectrum than me, but we're able to find our connections and make one cohesive sound. So Marcus is one of the additional people, I would say, alongside Sam, that really helped me, find my sound and, kind of help me find my ground in terms of, recording the project and then working on music and whatnot.
So speaking on that, what do you think your sound is? Because I really don't have an answer for that. You know what I'm saying? If you were to ask me, what does bro sound, I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? Because you have listening to your album, you have a lot of different sounds.
For sure.
And I don't mean to say anything, but you're really great at each sound.
I appreciate
that. That album is something that I could say, throw that bitch on and we're going to run it front to back. And if you don't realize it's going front to back, we're going to keep on running it. You know what I'm saying? Because albums like that, like something that has a hip hop, a rap, a trap, and then a R&B, like you're kind of like, man, I could just run that bitch all night. You know what I mean?
It's that variety.
Exactly. Because you can just go all the way through it. So really, like, what did they do to contribute to that? What did Marcus do to contribute to that? And what did you do to say, hey, I want to do something other than rap?
So Marcus really, from the start, he always pushed me to listen to different music, because I really used to be stuck on one genre. And I'm glad you brought up the diversity part, because Marcus really played into that. He showed me a lot of different music, like, a lot of different trap, a lot of different rappers, singers and all that. He kind of put me on, and, me personally, I still wouldn't, know what to categorize my music as. It's really, I feel like it's too early to really determine anything, but, I'd say I'm definitely leaning towards the darker sound, and some of the upbeat type of music too.
The darker as in like more rap, or the darker as in more R&B? Because there's two different darkers, right? Because you could sit here and say like, I'm leaning more towards the dark in rap, or an R&B, because that's two different genres. Shit. Because you have both. I could say you really do have both, because that my phone just died, but the song, man, like I think it was like the fourth song. Your first R&B went on the
first
album.
Oh, Don't Forget.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's a motherfucker that I could play front to back and still continue it on repeat and be like, hey, this motherfucker
I think that one got the most plays too.
And even, I got another question for you, but even like what just brought you towards that, bro? Like, towards that? Like honestly, like, because you figure you start the whole album as a rap album.
Yeah.
You had traps. When I put that bitch on, I was like, this beat I could, whatever he talking about, this beat I could just go with. And then the next one started, and I was like, yeah, this beat I could just go with. And then the next one, the beat, and then it turned into the R&B. So like, what really grasped you into like, hey, let me put this different in there? I know you said Marcus did, you know what I mean? But like, what really grasped you? Because it wasn't somebody else.
Yeah, really in my head, it just, it makes sense. A lot of albums that I listen to, it's not bad to have one cohesive sound, but to me, it makes more sense to have a lot of sounds in there. A lot of stuff people can replay. Even Latin artists too, they do a really good job at putting a lot of different sounds on their project. Yeah. Bad Bunny, I know a lot of people give him shit for his music, but I think the last one he dropped is a really nice mix of like singing and rapping, like what I get on, like the Dembo stuff he did a really good job at it. And there's a reason why it's getting a lot of plays. There's a reason why Scorpion got a lot of plays. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of rap, trap, singing, all that. So in my head, I feel like all the rap, I feel like people got to hear something, from the soul. Not to say rap isn't coming from the soul. You know what I mean? It's just like
a lot of it now isn't though.
Yeah,
we can really keep it a buck. A lot of it now really isn't. Yeah. It's more like sell dope, I fuck hoes. Yeah, you know what I mean. So like when I heard your shit, I was really kind of like, yeah, motherfucker spitting, bro. Like, for real, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, I make music, but, like, that don't even matter. Like, I was really just kind of coming from it as an artist point of view. Like,
yeah,
he ain't even saying the same shit. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like, and I respect you for that, because a lot of people can't do that, especially on their first project.
I appreciate
that. Especially on their first project.
Yeah, I try to stray away from, that type of life that I know I can't live, I can't sustain to, But I'm not going to lie, there's definitely stuff in there that I said that's not true. Like, I fly in private, I dab up the pilot. It's more like manifestation.
Hey, bro, that don't even matter, because we all say that shit.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, we all dabble around and lie a little bit. But at the end of the day, that's what we're wishing for.
Yeah, manifestations early on.
Exactly. And that's really what it is. So, like, if you're doing that, you don't even need to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to be.
Type shit,
yeah. You know what I mean? Honestly, because like, I don't know, I deal with a lot of artists, bro, and hearing your shit, it's another quality.
I appreciate
than
that.
A lot of artists. It's that. More. I don't know where you recorded. I don't know how you recorded. I don't know. We'll get into that, but I'm saying at the end of the day, that shit is
different level.
Yeah, it's more of a real studio album than anything, than a lot of people are putting out. You know what I mean? Like, than a SoundCloud song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you kind of did it the right way. So how did you even get to going that route? How did you even sit here and say, hey, I want to make music, I'm going to go the right route? Because I know, like, when I said I wanted to make music, I kind of just said, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So how did you find the right people? How did you even come in contact with the right people? What was the first song you made? Let's put it that way.
First song I made, that was... for the project or just like in general?
In general, because this is your first project. Yeah. So like, I know you've made songs before that.
Yeah, I did a little. I did a little bit of writing. I can't lie.
Yeah, no, for everybody know. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I know this is your first project that's put out, but at the end of the day, like, where did you start and where did you find yourself? Because you had to find what you write.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think the way I went is really unconventional. I really started off writing for other people. I'm not gonna do name dropping. There are probably some local artists that don't make music no more, but I really started off, trying to find where I fit, in the puzzle piece, and writing for other people kind of helped me, put that in perspective, because some people will rap about, certain things that I really couldn't rap about, and I know what type of life I live. I know what I can attain to. So when I started finding those right people, that asked me to help me write their music, or, asked me to, work on stuff, that's really when it started. And then I started doing covers over instrumentals of my own lyrics. You know, I started off early like doing Drake, Kanye, Travis. You know, there's a lot of my inspirations, and really from there it just kept going and going. And then one day I'm like, just work on a project, and then just tried to find my sound for the last 2 years.
So basically, you started off writing for other people.
Yeah.
Then kind of like, hey, I know I can kind of do this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, my favorite artist, I'm going to do a cover of them. And then it's like, hey, that motherfucker good. Then it's like, hey, let's do my own shit.
I used to show people some of my older work, and they'd be like, oh, shit, like that really could be something they said. You know what I mean? And impersonation, you know, is not really my goal. But, you know, interpolating certain elements of them, you know, into one thing to make it even better, that's really my end goal.
And that's another one of my questions I was going to ask you as well is what were your inspirations? I know you said Kanye, Drake, but like, your shit don't really give me Kanye and Drake. I hear it, you know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, that shit don't really give me Kanye and Drake. So like, what were your other inspirations behind that? As in rap, R&B, all that, because Kanye and Drake are kind of like a, you know what I mean? So like, what were your inspirations in the rap game and in the R&B game to say, hey man, I could even do this slow shit, or I could do this fast shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the slow shit really, Houston, chopped and screwed, the slow music, you know. I feel like there's so many different places, you know, in this world that can put that type of music, you know what I mean? Bryson Tiller, definitely a big influence. The Weeknd also, I love that dark Toronto sound that they kind of cooked up in Canada. That's really one of the biggest inspirations in terms of, you know, the slow music, the R&B music. I really just like that type of music, you know. And putting that together, you know what I mean, is obviously took a while because, like I said, I was writing for the last 2 years before I even really started making music.
So you were writing for 2 years before you even started making music?
Yeah.
That's the minimum, like 2 years? You started at, writing for people, and then you finally 2 years later just decided, hey, I'm going to do my own shit.
Oh, yeah.
So what was your pickup to say, I'm going to do my own shit?
I remember the exact day it happened. It was October 31st, 2019. I was with my girlfriend, and we left. After a long night, I got home. I always just play music, just start writing to it. But one day, I just started writing to this beat. I don't even remember what it was called. But I wrote something that was so nice. I sent it to my friend. He's like, bro, you got to start doing your own thing. And that's really what sparked it for me. Because from there, I was like, you know, I got this so many times. But this one person telling me that, you know, it meant a lot to me. So I was like,
who
Jacob
was that
Barry.
person? Not even that. Like, not even who it was, but who was that person to you? Because if it meant that much to you, that person was somebody.
Yeah, he's he's one of my longtime friends, and I know he's good with music too. He never played no bullshit for me before, you know. So he's always played good music. That's always someone that I've really, kind of grew up with, you know, musically, because he'd always play his music. I'd always play mine. But really, when it came from him, that meant a lot to me. I really don't know truly why, but, you know, it's just that one night I kind of just realized, you know, I can do my own thing.
No, yeah, I feel that for sure. Like, I feel that, bro, because it's been them times that, like, when somebody says something to you that you really respect or that you really got love for, you're like,
hell yeah.
That might mean something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it, but, like, what do you think you started off as and what do you think you are now? I know this is your first project.
Yeah.
But, like, you've been doing it. Your first project just came out, what? A week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, from a week or 2 weeks ago, that 2 years that you was writing, what did you feel in between that, honestly? Because I know you weren't just like, man, I'm just writing for somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did you feel in between that to think, like, how do I get to where I'm writing on my own and making my own music?
Really, you know, just finding my own identity. You know, I'm still doing that to this day, you know. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, identifying my type of music. I think that's part of the end goal, you know, as I keep developing my own style, you know, with the writing and everything. It's really just, it's really hard to, you know, I mean, put an answer to that question. That one's one of the questions that had me stumped, I ain't gonna lie.
It might, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm here to ask them questions, man, for real, because I really want to get to know you and figure out how you came to become the person that you are. Because you got a little buzz, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even not even being from Austin. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that aren't even from Austin that got a little buzz, but they're from New Orleans or L.A. or whatever, but you're really close to Austin.
Yeah.
So you're basically from this tight circle.
Yeah,
and if you got that buzz, like, you got something, man. You know what I mean? And like I told you, bro, I could listen to your album from front to back.
I appreciate that.
And I didn't expect that. I'm gonna tell you straight up to your face, bro. I did not expect that. I was really expecting like more like, I guess like Jack Harlow shit. Yeah. But I can compare you to that, but it's not that. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to know how you got invested with Teddy.
Teddy, oh yeah, him. I listened to him in middle school.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to know, because Teddy has a buzz and had a buzz since I was young.
Oh yeah, you listen to him.
I'm older than you. You know what I mean? Like I'm 28, so like you say middle school, you're only 21. That was only 6 years ago. So 6 years ago, I was 22. That's when Teddy really started coming up as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of invested and kind of wondering how you even came across him and got him on the album, because y'all have what, two songs, right? And both of them motherfuckers are it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's one of those goals. You know, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling to me. In middle school, I listened to him a lot. Yeah. You know, in high school, you know, I listened to him a lot. But you know, when I was starting this project, I always had like a goal of putting like one person on there, you know, the project that I really wanted to be on there, and he was one of them. He's really good, you know, at his job, like lyricism. He's good at riding the beat. You know, he's really good at setting the tone. So I reached out to him. He was doing features. He has something in his bio, so I just hit him up. He's a really cool dude. I got his number. We FaceTime. We talked it out. And, you know, he actually sent his part before I ever really finished mine. You know,
that's rare.
Yeah, it's unconventional, like I said, but I think that approach on music is kind of what makes it unique. You know,
exactly. That shit right there is like, from somebody that makes music, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when somebody else sends you something to put on it after you sent them the beat, it's kind of like, you really fuck with this shit. You know what I mean? So like, y'all got a bond, you know what I mean? So that right there, that's kind of big.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a really cool dude. You know, I'm not trying to say wasn't expecting that, but you know, when I got to really like talk to him and know him, he's a really cool dude outside of music, you know, in music too. So I feel like that relationship we kind of had, you know, while we don't really like know each other like that, it made me feel like we'd be perfect, you know, for a collab and something to put on the project.
Well, you figure he's kind of like, hate to say it like this, but he's kind of like the white boy face of Houston. Mm-hmm. You might be kind of Austin at the young age, you know what I mean? Like I'm a little bit older, but I still keep in touch, you know what I'm saying? And I know what's going on. Like I've heard your name before, so when I heard it come up on the podcast, I was like, yeah, I've heard that. But I never really cared to listen to new music because I'm stuck in my shit. But when I heard your shit, I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like honestly, bro, got something for real.
Yeah.
And I can give you that. But like with Teddy, are y'all gonna do anything else?
I hope, you know, I sent him the songs we did. He didn't really respond, so I'm.
Because I know y'all I forgot which one it was, because y'all got two, I've listened to all of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I listened to it to where the point is like just repetitive. I don't care what song it is.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just let it run. But like I know y'all got two, but what is the one that is really going up? Because I know y'all have one that's really in the strip clubs and the club. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, what is that one?
Options, for sure.
Options, right?
For sure. Yeah, that one gets the most love too. Out of the, you know, all the tracks, that's the most loved one for the rap side.
Yeah,
it's a nice beat, and I actually found that one online too. I found that beat online. It's also very unconventional.
And you purchased it and did all that. You found
the dude was cool also. Dude was cool too. I think kind of bridging that gap between, you know, getting expectations for people, you know, like producers and all that, kind of, you know, fits into the mold.
Yeah, because when you, like you said, it's your first album. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you're just starting, but like really just starting to mess with producers and really get into the groove of everything. Like, it takes a lot. And I can say it takes a lot from being there, you know what I mean? Like for real, like it takes a lot to even just go into somebody else's studio and just start spitting how you spitting, because you only spit for you how you spit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you could tell, you know what I mean? Like for real, but your album, bro, is really something serious. And this is your first project, right?
Yeah, the next one's going to be even crazier.
It's going to be crazier, huh?
Already working on it.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. But this first one, though, tell me about it. What made you even bring it into play and say, hey, this one through whatever my track is these are it? What made you say that? And what made you say, hey, man, these are the tracks that I'm putting on it? Because it's your first album.
Yeah.
first albums are some serious, you know what I'm saying? And especially if you're really trying to get into this shit, like, what made you put that track list together?
That one, I really kind of just sat through the music. I listened to it so many times. I'm just putting stuff in places where it feels like, you know, it fits. And the first two being like, you know, trap, like rap, you know, like hype stuff. That's I feel like a good introduction. And then, you know, the R&B side comes out of nowhere and it like takes you. You know, you don't really want to skip it. You know, it's just something you didn't hear on the project, even though you're only 3 tracks in. And from there on, I kind of just tried to, you know, place the tracks in order of like transitions at the end, or, you know, like where it really feels like the project's going this way, that way, this way, that way. You know, it's kind of like a movie. You know, you're waiting for the climax, the resolution, and all that. That's kind of how I put it together.
So tell us about your next album then. What's gonna happen with the next one? Is it gonna be the same climax with the movie, or is it gonna be something that we already expect, or is it gonna be something totally different?
I think it's gonna be something totally different, but in a good way. It's gonna be something that's familiar enough to where if you listen to my music before, you could definitely fuck with it. But it'll bring in a new audience too. Yeah, that's really the end goal for me.
That's the main goal for everybody, bro. For sure. As long as we're building a new audience.
Oh yeah,
we all here, man. But what are your main goals for the rest of the year?
Rest of the year, just pushing this project. I actually have a deluxe for this one dropping in February.
So how many extra you got on the deluxe?
I'll do 3 more.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of went off what people said they liked the most. So like the R&B stuff, I'm putting 2 R&B, 1 rap on there. And Marcus, the dude I was talking about earlier, he made a beat on there for the deluxe. That's playing in February, March, April, May, June. Dropping music videos. I'm trying to tap in with all the videographers, you know. Emilio, I wish he wasn't staying out in L.A. He's about to go back to L.A. He was in Austin for a little bit. Dan, I'm definitely going to hit up Dan. Eric.
Yeah, Dan got it.
Yeah, Dan's nice.
Eric got it too. Eric got the beats too. If it's the same Eric I'm talking about. Eric got the beats for sure. So. But I'm looking forward to your next album. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not no bullshit. I'm really looking forward to it because I can sit there and play this album all the way through. Yeah. Looking forward to hearing your next move. When are you gonna be live? Do you not know yet?
For the next one?
In period. Do you have anything planned for South by? Do you have anything going on?
I'm hoping I can catch the next one. This one I was a little too late submitting music. But
it might not be too late, bro.
Yeah, that's true. I always reach out.
Yeah, exactly. It might not be too late, bro. We're in Austin. Yeah, you might get in contact with the right people. But just wanted to know what your next move is and how you gonna plan it.
Next move, really, you know, trying to get some playlists in too, you know, reach a bigger audience. I'm just trying to prove myself in the area, you know. Even if I feel like I kind of did that with this project, you know, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to, you know, say I could have done this better. I could have done that better. This year, in all honesty, is the year of improvement for me for the next project. So when the time that one comes around, you really start to hear significant changes in the quality of music.
I mean, you've only dropped one project, so you know what I mean.
I want people to see like the standard of quality really been there from the start. That's my end goal. You know, branching out from other artists too, like Kanye. His first album was crazy, College Dropout. A lot of people couldn't even say that, you know, their album was that good of a quality. You know, same way people might say that about mine. You know, just being the first one. You know, so just really room for improvement this whole year. Just trying to get better at what I do. You know, flows, beat selection, features, and all that.
For sure, bro. I understand that. I get it. Well, it was good to have you here, bro. I'm glad that you came by. I'm glad that I got to talk to you. I'm Mario from the South Side. It's my guest. Rich the Mack, man. Rich the Mack in the building, bro. So,
yes, sir.
This I Don't Know, That's Perfect podcast. If you got a problem, come see me. If not, we can talk about it. Y'all have a great night, man. For sure.
Peace out.